Morning. I think it just is about morning now. There's Taco lying down. Some bloody chickens over here. Anyone thinking it's a bit of a shithole, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But the missus is, she's just like this. A lot of Thai people are like it, you know. But then some aren't. In the same family, her sister, she's not like it. It's just the way she is. In a way, you could say it's the same. I am the same as well, but I'm a bit lazy when it comes to doing stuff. But what the thing is, though, I've got to the point where there's no point fighting with her over it. You know what I mean? Like, she loves plastic bags. And what she'll do, she'll get stuff that she wants to keep. She's got a really good memory. Very good. It's extraordinary. I mean, like, she could make a SIM. She could get a SIM card for me. I could do it on my own, but it's like, sometimes Thai people can just make one quickly with their ID card rather than me getting a passport out in a shop, right? And they have to do a load of stuff. It's easier just for her to just go blip like that, and they just produce a SIM card. So it's in her name, but I'm using it. So I've had that before where I've said to her, like, Barn, what's my phone number again? Stupid question. She think, well, how the hell she gonna know my phone number is? But then she'll go, what, can't you remember? And she'll just tell me the phone number. And she made that SIM card like a month ago. I think, how the hell could you know that number? It's crazy. She has got a good memory. But that memory comes into play when she puts things in plastic bags. And then I'll come out and I'll be angrily phone her up or send a message going, or a video message going, Jesus Christ, where's my shaver? Electric shaver, the new one I've got. I put it on the side. Then eventually, so I'll then like be running around 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Eventually she'll say, it's in the bag there. And I look in the bag and it's in a bag on hanging up on a hook with 5 other bags. And you're going like, how is that? Why would you do that? But that's what she does. Nightmare. There's plastic bags everywhere. She doesn't believe in shelves. You know what I mean? Anyway, right, so we've done all that. Look at this. Why would you not? It's quite funny, really. Look at this. It's comical. You can have a laugh now. Look at that. Why would you keep that? Right? Plastic bottles. She throws them on the floor, and then she has a burst of inspiration. She gets up and then she just picks them up, and then basically somebody comes around and collects them and gives them something like about 20 pence. It's crazy. She's just the way she is. You know what I mean? And why would you keep that? An umbrella that's had all the things that have it. Oh, you say to her, Bon, why are you keeping this? And she can't sometimes give you an answer. These here, these are old. Because people will come and buy stuff that's like, they'll take away stuff like this. So this here, she probably thinks that's metal. It probably is some kind of metal, but it's from China. It'll be some kind of fake. These are knackered. They'll probably, there's pissing water out there. These are like shower things or things for spray gun hoses, right? They're knackered. Instead of throwing that in the bin, she's kept it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, things like this is something. I think I probably would have bought that one. That there. That's what lots of old people, and even young people, or I'll say anybody, they'll keep that. Sorry, they make this. That's what they do. They sit there all day. It's well made. Look at it, beautiful thing. Imagine it, being able to make that. You know what I mean? And they make like lots and lots and lots of them and sell them, and then they make their whatever £7 a day by making all this stuff. It's just crazy how this country is. You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, this is the rubbish everywhere. Over the years, I've just learned to just live with it, because it saves arguments. And beer bottles, that's me just throwing them on the floor, because they'll all be got up, and there's loads of kids there. Do you know what I mean? But kids are a bit lazy as well. You know, if you said to them like, okay, then I want all this whole place cleaned up, every tiny little bit of what's it, I want it all in a bagged up. I'll give you whatever, give you the same amount of money as a man earns in a day. And the chances are, what they would do, they'd start it going, oh, this is brilliant. And then after about, say, 30 minutes, they'd start playing, and they wouldn't be doing it. I've seen it before. I'm like, oh, no, forget that. You know what I mean? There's Duck Dick, who you've probably seen before, looks like an Ewok. But then she's now Duck Dick. Lovely, wouldn't you? Well, look at her. She's the queen. Look at her. Her eyes are so expressive when she's in pain. Like, she had her, I remember, yeah. She's a lovely dog, she is. She was the first. We had 2 dogs to start with. We had the first, when I came here 7 years ago, this barn had a dog, a little small puppy, and over the years, she'd had dogs and I said, oh, how's your dog doing? I was dead. When I got here and then I started to learn more about the place, dogs just all the time. They have litters of dogs and half of them die, and, you know, all preventable. But these people have got so little money, you know what I mean, that they're not going to vets and stuff. It's just basically the strong survive. And they get so hardened as kids and as growing up of things just dying and people dying. There's people dying all the time. You know what I mean? That they just get so hardened to it that it just becomes nothing. You know what I mean? Death. You know. I don't know how they feel about their own death. You know. But to us, you see, because especially in society we've had now for the last, say, 30 years or 40 years, we've grown up where death is not a big thing. You literally can stave death off right to the last moment, where you get to the age of whatever, where it's literally like, Jesus Christ, I want to die or something, because I've literally done it all. I'm sick of it. Maybe, I don't know. You know, that's probably not the case. Anyway, so there's that. You know, there's probably a lot of the fans want to know about. I remember when I first come here, and she had one of these over there. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was that was an experience. So like using basically all bits of wood stuck in there, and then coal or tan, as they call it, which is basically charcoal, which is where they get decent wood, hot, maybe hardwood, or whatever, decent wood anyway, right? Not stuff that goes up quickly, and then they burn it slightly, and they take all the smoke out of it. I mean, this is what charcoal is, isn't it? I think, and it's not, because charcoal is not coal, is it? Is that right? And it's bits of wood. And yeah, so that's it, cooking on that. And then this tree here, this is a jackfruit tree. This here, like, it's full of jackfruit. You know, the sun's on its way around, but luckily the bloody there you go, look. Right. This tree, I'm pretty sure this tree wasn't this big when I was here 6 months ago, even a year. There's a big tree over there, massive jackfruit. They grow so quickly. You know what I mean? Bit annoying really, but hey, it's a bit of shade in it. You know, as I say, that one there's been cut down. And then we've got this mango tree here. I don't know what to do about it. We have to dig all around it, and get to move it somewhere, or just leave it. As I say, I've been thinking about where to put my new room, because I'm a bit worried that, you know, if you're sitting in a room down here, you know, sitting, you wouldn't care about how high the ceiling is, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're literally sitting in, like, imagine like sitting in a van or something in the ceiling. You go, what do you do? Who cares? Your head's not touching the ceiling, but no, you do care. So I think what I've been thinking is maybe keep it more simple. Don't start building stuff and making concrete floors and everything. Just basically come off the front of here with my windows. I'm talking about these, like, sliding doors. You can get them about 2 meters or more wide. And so you could have either one big sliding door and put some windows, or you just put 2 sliding doors next to each other, because they're pretty cheap. They're like about 150 quid each, something like that. So 160 quid. You know what I mean? For a 2 meter, you take up a load of space. And then I was thinking about, like, just basically then, I've been thinking about how basically make a wall from the edge of here, one way or another, making some kind of wall. That could even be steel. So that could be, I could make it out of, make the wall, it can either be bricks, or it could be actual steel. Make it out of welded steel, like this made. Make a wall out of that, and then on the inside it can be insulated then with proper insulation, and then, you know, plasterboard, gypsum sheets. On the outside you can have whatever. I can put some kind of, we won't even see it. It could be metal. It could be this metal here on the outside. You know what I mean? So that's that. So that'll be the inside wall sorted. Then you come around the front, and maybe that could be done in block. Or again, no, it's going to have to be done. The outside's going to have something on it that's going to look normal. You know what I mean? So maybe it is going to be blocks. You know what I mean? It is going to be a blocked wall all the way up to there. So that'll be the edge of the room. Come across the front here, and then so you come across the front here, and then maybe extend. Could extend out a little bit, I think. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, if we don't extend, there's still plenty of space there, because it's still, I think it's still a lot of space from the front of here to the back here. Because what I'm thinking of having it like is where what I want to do is you come out of the house and you can turn and go into the kitchen. But what I want it is so that. And by the way, I'm not interested in beautifying the house. It's a Thai house. There's just no point. They're made of this block, right? And it soaks up heat. There's nothing you can do with these houses. They're a waste of time. Well, not a waste of time. I mean, like, they're a waste of energy. I say in the bedroom, I had to just completely coat the ceiling and all the walls with foam, with inch foam sheets to keep the heat out from outside, because the air conditioning would just run all the time, just eating. That was at night, because the blocks have absorbed all the heat and now they're giving it off. It's cool outside and you're hot inside. It took me years to work out where the heat was coming from. I was like, where's the heat coming from? Then one day I felt the wall, like, Jesus Christ, the wall's warm. And that's when it was. And so I put I got the foam sheets, and that was it. Then transformed it overnight. And then you could have a room then that even when there's a blackout and the air conditioning goes off, the coolness stays in the room. It doesn't, there's that. So I'm thinking of doing, so you'd walk out of here, but what I don't want to see is a wall when you walk out. So basically this is going to have a sliding door. So it'll be you'll just see straight through, because I have other sliding doors, big doors on the front. So that means you can walk this way, and then you could actually just thinking about it now, because I think what I'm going to bring it up to here. This is the room's going to be from here all the way to the end, to the, where the roof ends there, where the end of my finger is there, right? So that'll be like that. That's a decent amount, isn't it? You know what I mean? You're already too big, because it's got to be air conditioned, right? So then I think that I could have, we'll have partial block, but we're inside here as well, so we can have plasterboard. We could have plasterboard on this side, so we don't have to have, it could be steel, you see. And you can buy like, what do they call it? It's aluminium studding, right? Whatever it's KNAF, K-N-A-U-F, KNAF studding. That's the same thing they make all the ceilings out of, so that can be done. Because I don't want to do it myself, I want somebody else to do it. But if I just get everything, I'll get everything. Say it needs to be done like this. This guy here is absolutely amazing. He's a proper artisan builder next door. He works all over the place, Bangkok, everywhere, and he comes back in. So he's going to retire. But they're like, he's semi-retired, so he comes up here. I'm hoping he's doing a bit of work on his own house. I'm hoping he hasn't got a lot on. He's the kind of guy though that he's constantly inundated with he's very quiet. You know what I mean? And today, but he gets on with my girlfriend good, you know what I mean? So that's good. That's a good thing. They're friendly. And so that would be, so you come out here, this here so we can have a bit of a, but then we can have a door here then, can't we? So we can have it, so you walk out of here, straight off you see the sliding door there, so you're not presented with a wall as you come out. Then you maybe turn and have a proper door there. Oh, that'd be good, yeah. I've got all this, I don't want to be moving that, I don't want that in the room, right? So all the here, this here will be there, right? It won't be part of the room, the guest house, as I'm going to call it, right? But I'm the guest, right? So there could be a door here. Now what I'm also thinking of doing is, because you can feel, like here, it's not the hot season, so there is heat there, right? Because that gets, and also the sun's not right overhead, so we're being blocked by the house. The sun's right up at the back there. What I'm thinking of doing is completely getting somebody. There's somebody on Facebook, right? And he must be Western. He is, and LOHR. If you look for him, and he does. He'll do that spray foam. I've seen it before because I'm in refrigeration, so I've seen it at potato barns. where they've decided they want to keep potatoes in a barn, but they need to keep them at a certain temperature. Maybe that's what the supermarket is telling them. So they come in and they completely spray foam. I've seen this 20 years ago, probably more than that, 25 years ago, spray foaming the whole of the ceiling and the walls of a barn, and then now suddenly it's a cold store, and then I'll do all the refrigeration for it. So probably spray the whole of this ceiling, right, and that there, because then with a view to in the future, if we win the pools, right, can completely actually extend the house out the front. Do you know what I mean? By basically just building a wall all the way across the front with windows in it. You know what I mean? So this isn't just a lean-to. That, you know what I mean? It's like, it'll be great. You know what I mean? So oh, something just went click there on this. Yeah. I don't know. So sometimes I make videos and I don't upload them. This was red hot the other day. It's just that's warm now. This was red hot, and that screen was failing. I thought, oh shit. I found what it was this here, this fan. There's a fan underneath there, and it was stuck. The fun, which is dust, had built up and stopped the fan. So I took the front off. Inside there's a big. Tell you what, just in case the video that I did make with this in it, I'll take bear with, just to show you what's inside. See that there's a big Torrido. Is that there? Big transformer. That's the difference between this and the hybrids ones. Can't take it off totally because the screen is on a ribbon. Yeah, it was red hot, but yes, that's all right now. But I mean, it was, when I say red hot, but it was lucky I found it. Lucky, like a lot of things. You go, oh, you mean you hadn't have found it. So yeah, that inverter there. Yeah, it's good. I'd rate this. It has got a UPS function. You can have it so that, well, it does at the moment. This, it's this. If you look at that now, this fuse is the power to the charger. There's a charger here that charges the battery packs, right? Charges the D35 of that. So now we've lost the charger. That's all. But so the batteries just sit there at 29.2, right? But there is a mode. So there is a mode, and where you can have this so that once it's charged the batteries up totally, it then carries on and gives power from the inverter out to everything that you normally feed in a power out. And when a power out happens, that switches over and changes you from 240 volt government power over to the power that's coming out of here, which is on that plug top there, crazily, to 3 kilowatt. This is 3 kilowatts, and 3 kilowatt is 12 amps. So you can have it on. You can run 12 amps off this. So 12 amps, a 12 amp feed is going up to that, just sits there, and then when you lose, when that looks like we're having a little lesson on this then. So this is the incoming power. So this is the incoming board, right? Then 2 black wires there are coming into here, and then they feed. So this is the incoming power, right, from the government, and then it feeds this board here. Feeds these 2 boards. Now it feeds this board, which is a non-essential board. All the shower, 20 amp shower, all the sockets on the right hand side of the building, which is that side, which has got which has got the fridge, freezer, the 20 amp shower. There's a Ganamro on there, which is like a water boiler. You know what I mean? I have the toaster on this side. You know what I mean? But not my table. My table is on the essential board, which is that side. So you've got the left-hand board does the right-hand side of the house, and then the right-hand board does the left-hand side of the house. So that the left-hand side of the house is any lighting in the building at all, even on the right side of the house. My table, any lights up here, the water pump. There's a small lift pump that takes water out of the tank, right? The tank fills up from water from the reservoir, right? Which we filter 2 times before it goes into the tank. So that pump, so that there is the essential board, right? Smaller than that one, you could say, yeah. So what happens then is, so this here gives power, sends a feed out to that board, and then it also sends a feed out to this board, but it doesn't feed it straight into this board. What it does, it feeds into that. Let's have a look. It feeds into here. So this here, right? This one here. So there's two feeds into this switch. It's a changeover, right? So you got normal and you got reserve, half a reserve. The reserve one, look, is coming from. Forget this thing here. This is just a cable joint. This thing here broke. This little device. It's funny. It looks beautiful, more beautiful than that one, but that one's lasted, and this one here failed. And basically, this is coming from there. So imagine now, this is 240 volts coming from here. All the people enjoying this now, right? So this is the 240 volts coming from this inverter, right? So this inverter is always making electricity because it comes from the battery packs up through this breaker, which is a special breaker. It's a DC breaker, so it can take the power. Comes up, it goes into here. So that's like positive and negative. Comes through here, and it's constantly making, via the electronics and that big transformer, it's constantly making 240 volts, which comes up to here. Forget that's just a joint. It was coming through, so I could see the amps and the voltage, but it's still showing it's making 235 volts. It comes out and goes into that switch, right? Now it just sits there, right? And you can see there it's got a red light on, which means there's 240 volts there, but the light that's extinguished it's extinguished, unlit, right? That light there means that we've got power there, which is a red light, but it's not in use. That one says we've got power here from the government, which is that power there, right? And but we've got government power and we're using it right there. That's it. Now that government power is coming from here over to this fuse board, and I think it's not coming through a fuse. I think I might have just doubled it up in the main breaker and sent it out, or it's on a fuse. I can't remember, right? And then so that comes down to there. Now so then it comes through here, comes across, links into it. They don't tell you to do this. You just have to work this out. It comes, so that power there comes across, links into there, and then you've got, see this here, I've got a bit of a breaker here. Don't know if I need it really, but it's an RCD out of a shower unit. I thought I might as well put it in. Look, see that? Now if you do so, yeah. So you've got this switch here, this changeover switch, right? So in essence, the changeover switch is fed 2 times. That there, or this here. Look, which is coming from there. So you've got backup power or real power coming from there across to there, then out into there, and it comes up. You're only using what only one of them can come through here, right? And then so it comes out the bottom, joined together. So both of those are joined together. Why they don't join it together themselves must be because of some reason you can maybe use the switch in 2 ways. And then it comes out of there, as I say, look, at the bottom, and then feeds this essential board. Look, the cable's going into the top, look, and then feeds this board. So the essential board at the moment is being fed from there, across to there, into here. The switch is in this position so it's using this feed, look, going through there, coming out the bottom, and then it's feeding that. Now, in a power out, which I won't do, because what'll happen is if the power out happens, we'll lose power for whatever, like about 1 second. If I was to just kick that blue breaker off there, we'd lose power. This here would motor, this thing would go zzz, that, and it would then use the power that's sitting there all the time waiting. It would then, this light at the bottom would be fed from that side, so it would get from there and it come over. And then that board there, which has got all of the left side of the house, right? All the lighting, my table, the water pump, which is so you can just wash dishes and spray your ass after you've exhausted your breakfast. That's all fed from here, right? And to where we got to there by saying that. So you got that, right? Now, oh yeah, the reason why I wouldn't do a thing is and so you could see it happen. And suddenly this then would suddenly start, that voltage would go down because it would take the load of whatever is on that board, and that voltage would go down. At the moment it sits at 29, it would come down boom to like 28.5 or something, but as it takes the load. But what would happen is the router inside there would go off for a split second, and it would have to then go through, when it gets its not split, it would go off for 1 second or whatever it is, half a second. It would then get its power back, go through the cycle. Boy, they've all lost their internet and they're all playing games together, so that's why I wouldn't do it. As where Dang was trying to show off to his mates, oh look, we're going to do a power out and watch what happens. But then he was the little one there in the white shirt. He's actually, I think it's probably his school shirt. He's very poor. Oh mate, they live in literally a shed on the outskirts of town, and he rides there on his bike. He's a lovely kid as well. He's a lovely kid. But I have to be careful what I say, because Dang understands a lot more English than he speaks, and he understands when I talk about stuff. All right, Dang. Yeah, and he'll understand stuff, and then he'll come and say it later. He's very little clever little scamp he is, I'm telling you. Be very careful what he understands. Anyway, so, and he comes out with words as well, man. I think, how the hell did you even know that word? I've never taught him. He gets it off the internet. Honestly, it is crazy how these kids, it's literally like a magic. It's magical how they know stuff. It's very difficult to explain how. I sometimes think, how the hell, it's like they're working on a different level. Like, he'll get through games, this is like, say, 3-4 years ago. He'll have a game, and I don't even know how he plays it or whatever. I mean, quite a complex game. And it's just, things come up in English language, and it's a choice to do this, to do that. Like, you know, and he'll just go, he'll move on to the next stage. How I can read English and I don't know what to do next, and you've just managed to work your way through it. Crazy. Hopefully that'll translate into some kind of job. I'll help him the best I can what I want to do is teach him about everything like this. You know what I mean? So, this just the basics of just how to do. You know, like, I mean, I fixed something in her sister's house up there. About a year ago, which is on my video, where a fuse board like this, the electrician, who I've actually worked with him on a job over at a foreigner's house over there, when he had to do something like this for a generator. That was the first time I ever saw one of this, which was a generator one, but it wasn't automatic like this. And this electrician, what? Yeah, he was good. He did all this kind of stuff. I had to show him. Well, I had a look at it all, and I went, oh wait, you need to get something from there to there. Well, this won't work, and that's it. So, but apart from that, he did everything else. That same electrician wired up her house, and he put all the blues coming out of the fuses, and the browns are going into the neutral. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't his fault though. Then, as you'll see on that video, high time fuse board. Somebody changed the meter outside, and what they do here is they'll put a link between the neutral bar and the earth bar, and they'll have, so basically all the earths are connected to the neutral, which is okay because earth is neutral back at the substation. So it just means that you don't have to drive stakes in, and you don't have to drive stakes into the ground like a TT system, which this is a TC system in a way. But you do have to, what do you have to do? Probably losing my train of thought here. So they don't have to supply an earth like they do in England, right? Unless you're out in the middle of nowhere where you have a TT system where you have to get your own earth, put an earth stake in the ground, right? But so they don't have to put earth stakes in the ground, because that's technically what they would have to do, right? What they've decided to do is just say, well, everybody just use the neutral, which is 0 volts, as a zero reference. Put all your earth cables like this, my earth here. I haven't done this, by the way. I've still got to do it. You know what I mean? Take this. This is an earth here going down to an earth stake in the ground, which is not. Jesus Christ, with them mosquitoes. Can you see that? Jesus Christ. You know what it is? That's rat poison there, mixed with rice, and they've gone onto that. No wonder the bloody mice aren't eating it. Or are they? There seems a bit like there's some missing there. Rats. Man, you hear them running everywhere because they live in the ground. And So where did we get to? Oh yeah. So all the earths right then should be connected. So you can have an earth, you can discriminate between all your cables in your housing. But then when it comes to what you then do is have an earth. This earth bar. What I should do is take an earth. I think you can have that as well, right? And then well, actually, if you have an earth stake, that's going down to earth stake. It's driven into the ground, big earth stake, right? I don't know how good it is because you have to test them. So what I would then do is take another cable from here, another earth cable, take it up and join it into the incoming neutral, which is one of those. But I would probably join it where it comes into the house, which is through that hole there. It goes through that, it goes into another, like a proper breaker. You know what I mean? Also, I've got here as well lightning protection, that there. Because you get surges when there's lightning. It's lightning as well. Sometimes this is an RCD, yeah, right. And what can happen is actually RCDs and I think even normal big isolators, breakers can trip due to what can happen is the incoming live and neutral, which is, I say, it's there smaller, but there is too big the cables, like 16 mils or even 25 mils coming in just through the garden, right from the meter. What can happen is the power lines, I think this is even if they're insulated cables, well, I don't know, maybe it's the uninsulated cables out further out of the village. What can happen is lightning can come down and induce power into those power lines, and then that surge can come and end up here, and people get air conditioning units blown up and all types of stuff. So what you do is you have this here. So that there, inside there, imagine that live and neutral, those two black cables. That live and neutral comes into the top of that break and then comes out and goes across to all these fuse boards and everything we've been talking about today. This is just the incomer. What can happen is, so what you then do, so imagine you're coming in with your live and neutral into the top of here. You just piggyback, you just jump over, piggyback across to this, and then come out the bottom of here with an earth, go down to earth, right? So that is a good reason to have an earth as well, and then because otherwise I don't know how you'd do that. If you were to put your only earth was if your only earth was going into the neutral, into the incoming neutral, then I don't think you could do what I'm doing here now. So what you do, this is actually, having this work really good means I do have to have a really good earth. I'll have to look into that, see if I'll have to get that earth tested. I might have to get an electrician involved who's got an earth, what do they call it? An earth stake, an earth rod tester, because they test it by, I think they go and they do stuff by going over there a long way with a rod in the ground, and they come back to it and see how good it is, the efficiency of what a good earth is, because you can have just bad earth sometimes, you know what I mean? So what then happens is when there's a surge and when they got lots of power on the lines, what will happen is this sends it down to earth, sends that oversupply down to earth of voltage. But if they really have a really big, and these here can actually blow, these here, if they go red, then you've had a really big surge. But there's a point at which I think is it say 275 volts is the highest. You won't let any more than 275 through, and then it blows it, something like that. I'm not an expert on it, but there you go. So we've said that. What other information do you need? Where was I? I was talking about, what was I talking about now? So, I talked about the electrician over the road. He got them mixed around the wrong way. And, the thing about that electrician, over at her sister's house, the electrician not only had all the cables, for some reason, he'd been doing it for years. I know him, he's an electrician. He knows his stuff, right? But he had all the blues going into the fuses, and he had the browns going into the neutral bar. Obviously, it should be the other way around, blues neutral. So there's that. But then, also, they were then reporting that they had a metal fuse board. I got them a metal fuse board, like this is plastic, right? I got a metal fuse board ages ago, and then he ended up wiring the house. I was going to wire the house, but there was a bit of an argument. I went, fucking do it yourself then. You know what I mean? So then he ended up wiring the house. He wired it like that, where there's like blues at switches, not browns at switches. Normally you switch the brown, which is the live. He's switching the neutral. I mean, at switches for lights and things like that. So then I get like, I'm then being told about, oh yeah, we're getting, you could have a, this is a couple of years, 3 years later. It's like they're saying we're getting like shock everywhere goes near the fuse board. Everyone's getting like shocks and stuff. So I went up there and had a look at it, and what I realised after doing a bit of checking, I realised that that they had, this is the first time. Actually, I think just a week previous, I'd found out about this thing where they join the inside the fuse board. They join the neutral terminals and the earth terminals, like you'd have there, one of those, uninsulated inside one of these fuse boards. They join them together with a link so that everything that's is connected to earth in your system is also connected to neutral. So then that you've got a zero reference then for everything. So it just means you've got good break. You've got your fuses can blow quickly because they'll have maximum prospective short circuit current. You know what I mean? So because if you've got a bad earth, that could be a really bad earth. I've never tested. How you test it is you test from some live down onto that, and if you only get like 90 volts, that means the earth's bad. You need 0 volts to get a good potential down to earth, and then that's the way that you get high amps. The better the earth is, it should be like point 0.8 inside the house. The impedance should be 0.8 ohms impedance. You know, ZS. No, ZS is the combined in it, but your ZE should be 0.08. It should be very low. That's the earth code. It should be very, very low. I mean, that's the ZE external to the building, right? Anyway, where we got to now, right? So basically, her fuse board was like, if you touched it, you get a shock because it's painted. People weren't getting proper shocks. They were just getting little tingles. They were getting maybe tingles on the wall as well, or just being around it. It was maybe jumping on them and stuff like that. Because what it was live. When I opened it up, I turned everything off. I opened it up, I looked, I saw this link, and I went, oh yeah, this is that link they're talking about. They link it here. Okay. But then I had because there was no earth in the house. I had no way. When I tested, I went, oh, I've got 240 volts, but I had no way of testing which of the, because you get 2 black cables coming into the house, or 2 in blue cables sometimes. When they're coming in, you had no way of knowing which was brown and which was live, which was neutral. You're in the main breaker, because there's like a fuse board, but it's got a main break, like a main consumer. It's got a breaker in there. So as it comes in, it's like they're just 2 blue cables, and you can test them. It's just 240 volts, but you've got no reference. You need to. So what I did, you just sort of like just test off the live and just put it onto the wall. I was getting some voltage there, a little bit of voltage. Then I went from the other one, which was neutral. Sorry, the live one. One was what was coming into the live, which was the right-hand one, right? That was live, and then, or rather, I tested from there, and I went to the one. There wasn't much there. There was nothing. Then I went from the neutral, which should be Z, dead. I went from that, and then went to the one. I was getting like a little bit of voltage. I went, I bet you they're crossed at the meter outside. And what's happening is the meter, if they're crossed outside, so that now what's actually in the neutral is live. The live, that neutral is actually live. So that actual neutral board, the neutral is live, and because they've then got across to the earth bar with a link, that the earth is live as well. And but they didn't have anything else in the house was earth, only the fuse board, because it was metal. The fuse board, because the earth is just the earth terminal, which looks like that. It's just looks like that. It's just bolted into the actual, riveted in, or it's got screws screwing it into the actual metal casing. So now the metal casing was live, and that's why they were getting shocks. So I just I went outside. Actually, no, I thought about going outside and taking out the meter and just swapping over the meter, but which would have been safer, but I didn't. I just took the pipe cables out, and because actually another thing that happened as well, the RCD, there was an RCD in there, because the RCD was getting the line. They have to be the right way around. They always put a drawing on for you, telling you. Dang, yeah. Steve bought now, dang. Yeah. Steve, time video. Look, dang, Jingy up. Okay. Hello, what now? Ham, okay. Jesus Christ, he just said he's got these little pack of ham, and he really likes to eat for sandwiches and stuff. He likes to just eat it. He just told me it's empty, so I need to buy some more. So here there'll be a little drawing on there, and you've got to have live and neutral. Got to be the right way around. But because what I realised had happened is the meter outside. It wasn't him that, even though he'd made a mistake with the live and neutral being the wrong way around inside the thing, which the colour coding was wrong. I don't know, maybe he's colourblind, or just maybe he's drunk, which very, very good chance he could have been drunk. What I realised was, I bet you they've had a new meter outside, and when they've changed the meter tails, the incoming ones, either the incoming or the outgoing meter cables, they've got them crossed. So suddenly at that moment they did that, everything suddenly changed, and now the live and neutral are now crossed at this side, because they crossed it outside, now it's crossed here. And that was probably the moment when they turned it back on again. They probably put those cables in live. They probably, if they were good electricians, they would have came in and turned all the power off inside the house. Outside they did, because there's no way of isolating it outside of the meter. They'd have just pulled those cables out live, put them back in, no problem, because there's no splash of sparks or anything, because you've turned the power off, you've turned everything off, so there's no load inside the house to cause a spark. They've just done that. So then they've come in, turned it back on again, and that was the moment then that their RCD fried. I mean, because when I put it round the right way, then it wouldn't work. It was tripping or something. So I went and got another one. Like, you find these little RCDs, you can steal them out of old showers that are broken and stuff like that, because all the showers here have RCDs in them. So, and they're all about 30 amp. So I put another one of them on, and then that's it. I got it up and running. That was it. And I said there's a video on my YouTube about that Thai fuse board. And did I get any thanks for it? No, they didn't understand what I did. All they knew is they weren't getting shocked anymore. And there we go. So, bloody hell, that's 41, nearly 42 minutes. I think that'll be of interest to somebody. You know what I mean? Even if it was rambling. Yeah. Now let's finish off with the kids then. So Saeed's the one there in the white. He's very poor, he is. And then the other one in the green there, he's just a normal kid. Not too bad. I think Duck Dick is eyeing up one of these to eat them. Aren't you? Would you eat one of these little lads? Yeah? And I'm waiting. I'm hoping my chain's going to come today for this. So get that sorted. You know, it's Sunday. So who's going to do it? I won't do any work myself. You know, I was looking at. What was I looking at? I've been looking at like socket sets. You know, and I was looking at socket sets. But then I thought, what's the point? Sometimes I need to just get a socket to just do something. There's literally no point doing anything yourself, because the labour here is so cheap. We're talking about, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I'm just saying this is the truth. They're slaves, yeah? You know, the people who are at the top of the country, they are just keeping this country as slaves. Because all these lads here, they know they're not going to ever earn more than like about 10 quid a day, 10, 11 quid a day. If they're just going to do normal work, whether that's working in a shop, working in the factory, working on a building, that kind of stuff, they won't. Because, so, it's like there's no point doing any job yourself. Breaks, maybe check it. I mean, because they'll put 100. They'll change your everybody, right? This isn't just like some of them. This is all of them. They'll change your yang nai, your rubber inner tube inside your tyre. Oh, they'll change it for you, great. But then they'll put 100 psi in it. They won't put 30 psi, 20, 30 psi in it. You know what I mean? They'll put 100 psi in it, 90 psi. And you're taking the piss. You know what I mean? You just charged me for a new inner tube and you put 90 psi in it. Crazy. They hit it with a spanner and go, yeah, that's enough. You know what I mean? Crazy. Yeah, so I'm waiting for a chain, because this chain's got pretty much to the end. I think you see there. See in the red, is that? White. Yeah, it's close to the red there. So, and I need to get I want to get a new taller screen. Yeah, I could just, if I want to be really If I want to be really, what do you call it, losing me train of thought. Welcome to my world. You know what I mean? If I want to be, really, what's the word, skinflint, I could just try and extend that somehow. Drill some nice little holes in it and extend it up. You know what I mean? Which is could be. You can buy extenders. You know what I mean? But the other way is to put a is you can buy one of these, a new one. That's going to be like 25, 30 quid. So I actually, you know, thinking about it now, I might actually just put something up higher off something else. You know. Because you can, but this here, you can buy like an actual a shield for like about 5 quid. I could buy one from the town. But what I found was, I put that on here. I had it on that bike over there. It was great. It was like a riot shield. It was great. It was brilliant. And that's this. I took this off of that. But what I found was when I turned the thing there, look, it hit there. So I had to cut it all out, and it doesn't like to be cut. It cracks. So you know, there's your tax. So you buy taxi. When you buy taxi, you get like a minimum third-party insurance with it as well. It's so cheap, but you don't get paid out. But at least it's illegal. Same with a car. That car over there, whoever's car that is, that silver car. That's just had a tax disc on it, and so at least you get insurance. You haven't got to go and buy the, you know, whatever it is, 500 quid insurance or three. It's not a lot of money insurance here. I don't understand why. It's absolutely cooking, that car is. This would be a good time to get in there now and sort of rip all that watch it off. So what I could do is sort all this out and get the car in here. But the problem I've got at the moment is this one of these dogs, Wolfie, which is not that dog. One of these dogs, Wolfie. See, this time of the year, like that sun is right up high now, so it must be round about. Like wood crocodiles indeed, and now you look at that and you go, that's got to be 12 o'clock. What's the time? Dang, don't need, Gimong, don't need. Gimong. Gimong.
What?
12:51. So it's 12:51 now, so that's where the sun is, right up high. So yeah, so that there would never be getting anything. We'll see how good it is. You know, I'm not seeing any green. That's one thing. I need to get some pig. I need to get some feed this tree. I need to get some pig. You get like powdered pig shit. That's the best pig shit is. And well, some people say cow shit is the best. Kiwu and kimu. But say, look at that there. It's brilliant. That is. And that one there, that you just see new shoots. Stuff grows so quick. And as I say, this here, I don't know. This is not rice field green, rice field. What do they call it? Rice field earth that I put. As I said before, I put rice field earth in there, and I say it's just grown all fucking everything you think of grows up through it. This one didn't. You know what I mean? But it might be I just didn't put enough. What I think I did, maybe I didn't put enough stone down. I put lots of stone, but maybe I just didn't put enough down, and maybe there was enough. There was, you know, maybe the fact that it wasn't rice field stone. It's like this red, this sort of. It's darker. It's not light yellow. It's like this red sort of. That's what's there. Until nothing grows through this. But that there, all green grows, that's because it comes from the rice fields. You know what I mean? What I really need to do is fucking get a fucking tractor in here and fucking just completely dig out like a foot or two of it, and then fucking replace it with stuff, red stuff, like you have. Asteroid rock. And that would stop that. But anyway, so yeah, that's definitely getting some sun. That's all I need to do, is start watering this shit. We haven't had any rain for ages. I completely forgot about it. I need to be watering this. But the thing is, like this, look at this here. Just breaks in the sun. So I don't know what that's about, whether it's the quality or if you can get better quality ones. But yes, this is lovely. So this is where you would want a car. But I can't park. The thing is, if I park the car here, right, these birds love these trees. At night, this is where they all sleep. By me cutting those 2 trees down, all the branches off them 2 trees over, the big ones that were taking the light away, I've actually fucked the birds' their homes up, you know what I mean? So, but this here, this is lovely. This is just, you know, but I could park the car underneath there. But what I can do is I could make a canopy. I could make a canopy there to stop the bird shit. So when the bird shit can't hit the top. But this would be a perfect place. So I need to get rid of all this stuff here. This ging, these thingamajiggies, these branches that we've cut all off there. We need to get rid of all that. If you try to get someone to do some fucking work around here, you know what I mean? Don't park the car there then, because that's getting hot. I need to cut. See, there is a branch. There's some leaves coming off that there. I need to decide what to do with that lot there. You know, just cut it down, and then so. I don't know what the point of having them up there is. It's starting. See, the berries are starting. Look. They'll be turning red, and they're lovely. Just pick them. There'll be loads of them. You never see anybody do anything with them. You know what I mean? But they don't make you ill or anything. They're lovely. They're like a nice. They're like a slightly sweet. You know what I mean? And they're creamy. You know what I mean? Need to buy. Yeah, I'm really annoyed as well with her. I've had a fallout with her brother, who I thought was a really great guy, and he is good. He's done all this work for us for not a lot of money. You know what I mean? Well, because they can't charge that much anyway, because nobody charges that much money. And I always wanted, like, every time I've come here, basically, when he did the last bit of work, which was putting roofs on the side of the house, coming off the side, you've got a lean-to in the front, whatever you want to call it, that veranda roof, whatever you call it. On the sides, he did those as well. And when he left with our steps. A pair of steps that had like just when we got them years ago, they were like just 2 sides of some steps. Or the whatever was holding them together, the hinge bracket, like piano hinge, that was all broke. Wasn't there anymore. Oh right. And then what happened then? He basically left with the steps. And my thing is, what else did he leave with? Because he obviously just sees me as being rich. I'm not rich, but obviously I've got more money than these, and I'm old now. So, you know, I have got a couple of quid, a lot more than I had, you know, a few years ago. And so, it's lovely. This is just lovely. Do you know what I mean? See, if my little house I'm talking about doing there, if it was here, do you know what I mean? It'd be wonderful. You know what I mean? Because you'd have, like, it's midday, look. There's just, you know. But that sun will be a lot hotter. You give it a couple of months, and this is why I need to get this place done. That I think I am going to just make the house out here. But what I'm worried about is that I don't want it so that you see a house out here. I want it to be over to one side. So if we make it as close to this side as possible, and then so it comes out, maybe oblong, so it comes up to there. It'll come underneath this tree. These trees will be perfect then. They'll keep the heat off, because it's lovely and cool here. But what happens is, in next month, you know what I mean, which is Songkran festival, all that kind of stuff. April, what are we on now? March. We've got all of March. But when April comes, it'll get hot. And I'm hoping I want to be here in April, because it's Songkran, the water fight festival, and all that kind of stuff, and they start going mental. I want to be here just so dangs with me, because it's so worrying, because it's so dangerous. You know what I mean? Because life is just, people dying doesn't seem to mean anything here. It's crazy. And even with other people, you know, people running out in roads, and there's people driving around drunk and all that kind of shit, you know. So at least if I've got him for those few days, it happens, I'll be happy. But we'll have the house then. We'll have the little hut out here. You know what I mean? And we have it air conditioned. I think it's gonna have to be here, yeah. All the way there. We'll start from there, all the way out here. It's that tree there, and then little roof there. Yeah, it can be long, but please, I don't want it going all the way out the front to see, because I want to be able to see from there all the way out to there. And then so we can have the windows. We'll have windows on both sides, or sliding doors. 2 sliding doors at the front, 1 sliding door on the side, and 1 sliding door. That's it. Little roof. All lovely. Yeah, this is where it's got to be here. Yeah. This, we need to just get on with it. It doesn't even have to be the highest of roofs. You know what I mean? This, take it up. Just take out any branches that are in the way. Just take them out of the way. That'd be nice. That. This is where it's got to be, in it. It's just no brainer. Okay. Yeah. And then the car could just be parked underneath there. A bit more natural, you know. Then I can move. Then what we'll do then? So that the house doesn't feel a house outside of the house. Or it's not a house, it's gonna be a room, right? But it's gonna be great. Everyone will want to be in here. I'm telling you, right? We'll move that fence. We'll move that fence. So it's further up there. Yeah. Might even just get rid of that fence completely and just move the whole. Have a gate made. Put a gate at the front. Actually utilise the whole lot. He's making himself. He's one of his problems. You see, the other dogs don't do this. He does this more. I'm not just saying that she's done it. He loves to lie down in that. But what happens is there's ticks, right? So what he's doing, he's digging himself into the sand. And what I was finding was I would cut all his hair off, which I do want to do now. But I'm not going to cut his belly. And then, look, he gets himself down there, like, yeah. Look, he's hot as hell he is. Look at him, bloody hell, panting. He's got all the hair on him, you see. But then again, she's got no hair on her and she's panting. Yeah? Lovely you are, little woofer. And then what happens is the ticks come up and they bite him. But the thing is, what I noticed was I've been away for 6 months and I come back and he's like this. But I've realised it's because he's got no he's got that fur on the underneath, and the little ticks can't get up and bite him, because even though he's got Florana drug in his body from Bravecto, like they all have, right? Some dogs can get bitten by ticks and they're more susceptible, and it'll just, you know what I mean? He's got protection, but it's just, you know, not as good as the other dogs. So she's his twin, you see, and she's the same. She needs cutting as well, but she's a nightmare to cut. She keeps running away. He actually get a shaver on him. He loves it. He loves the feeling. You know what I mean? But she's a nightmare. She's constantly trying to move all the time, aren't you? Little Cygok. I know, you're a lovely one. That's a lovely environment from this. There we go. I think that's enough. I should be using these kids as slave labour really for getting this, but you've got to be so careful of this stuff cutting your legs. I need to get a man in and get all this gone. This stuff on the floor, this is the dry season, you see now. It's been the dry season, it hasn't rained for a long time. We've had some storms and rain the last few days, but that's out of the ordinary. This stuff here can grow meat at all. I've come back here, and all the shit that's inside this has come all the way up to here. And not rice either. It'd be nice if rice was growing up now. And this is rice fields, as I say, this is rice field soil. There's like about, say, a foot of rice field soil here. Well, how do they stop all this shit growing up in the rice fields? How's that work? I can only assume they must be doing some kind of chemical. Must be some kind of chemical treatment. And those rice fields are in the farmland that way. You know what I mean? Where I haven't been. Well, I rode through it the first time today, through the red roads. Normal. There was a time when I used to run 10 kilometres every other day, right? I used to drive down there, or the girlfriend just dropped me down there, and I used to run all the way around in the rice field at night. I used to go out and I'd get back at, like, say, 9 o'clock at night, These people around here thought it was crazy to be out there. They're saying something might bite me or whatever. Sometimes people talk about people killing you, but these are very, very strange places. Seeing Thailand and places like this, especially up here, you know, outside of the cities, places like this, seeing places like this through the lens of a Westerner is not the thing to do. The stories you hear from people about, like, you know, when you're like, I'm talking about now, I'm going to go on a tour next week, you know, as soon as I get my chain and some other bits and pieces and I get that bike sorted, that's it, I'll be gone, so that I can go before Dang goes on half term. So at least I'll be here when Dang's here all day. And it's like you talk about it, there's multiple people saying don't stop and that kind of stuff. Anybody on the road to try and stop you, to say I've got a problem, if you're you know, can you imagine that, being on a road where you haven't seen nobody for ages? And there are, because I've done this a couple of times now, done 2,000 kilometres and I've driven for like hours and hours and hours and no one's come past me and no one's overtaken me, or I've stopped and no one's come past me, and I've stopped somewhere for 10 minutes and no one's come past me who was behind me. I mean, it's just like, you're literally so lonely places, and you imagine you coming down the road and then suddenly, like, in the middle of nowhere, there's somebody there, they've got a problem. These people are saying to me, you know, the Thai people here are saying, don't stop, because it's a trap. They'll have their friends. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? But they talk about things like that. You see videos, are they in America or in Australia, of that, in people in the, or in South Africa as well, where people just driving on the road and then somebody on the side of the road, they come out and at night time go, oh, well, we've got a problem. And then the people who are just end up ramming them or something, or stopping and reversing back and getting away because it's a trick. You think, gee, what's going through people's mind that they think, let's go out tonight and rob somebody? Like, who are these people? It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, they're hot. There's the two wires there, that's what I'm talking about. There's so many things to do. There's the fibre for the incoming internet, which we need to get rid of. There's an old next door neighbour there. So this is the two, that's the live and neutral coming in. But what I need to do with that is, what I really need to do is put it in a yellow tubing, just buy, but I'm afraid of the price. Buy a new one, right? And or buy a new one, and then run it and put it in some big tubing, right? Some big what you buy from its electrical tubing. Put it in some electrical tubing and run it along this fence that I've made. You know what I mean? So it's accessible. Everyone will know it's in the yellow tubing, and then run it there, and it won't be. Never have this, because the problem is you see trees grow and it ends up pushing on it, and it's a nightmare. This is all it's called Tim Tam. Put a few of those in. But I say nothing's growing because no one's putting any water on anything. But these grow, no water, and they just keep growing. Where they're getting the sustenance from, I don't know. So I'll give it a little bit of quiet for a minute, see if we can. Right, there you go. The bloody, I tell you what, man, that bloody dog, Wolfie, because she's like really into me. She's like a mum. A mum was like, so, because I rescued a mum from this, actually the electrician I was just talked about earlier. I rescued so that thing going past there. They're a lot of money. So that was a really, the thing's hasn't got 4 doors. You know what I mean? So, you know, they have the same money. A new one of that. Basically, you're better off having an older one that's got a thing. Anyway, Wolfie jumped up, keeps jumping up on this as I'm coming in. Yeah, when you come in, she just jumps up and she's already scratched that driver's door. That was the first time I realised she was going to do it. Then we have to come back now and get out of the car quickly, say hello to her, and sort of exhaust her excitement, address her excitement, and then out for that point, then she won't jump up the car again. You hope. But my girlfriend yesterday, and I'm not saying she's clever or anything like that, but she said, "Oh, I'll get out first. you know, because we talked about, I said, oh, Wolfie's going to jump up, we've got to be careful. Let's go. She's, I'll get out, I'll do it, So she gets out first. I'm assuming she means I'll get out and I'll sort her out. She just gets out and walks into the house. Then Wolfie comes down, then jumps up 2 times on the other side of the car. Look, these have got looks like they've got quite a thick lacquer on them. Because, I say, the driver's door's got scratch marks down it, but I think it's in the lacquer. That's getting some good leaves. So the leaves are light, so they're new. That's what we're after. That's a different type of mango. He's making the mangoes there. Look at these mangoes. So look at those mangoes there. Lovely colour. But yeah, I'll have some of those away. But yeah, the mangoes here are beautiful. They're all different tastes from different trees. You see a mango in a supermarket in England from wherever it is, South Africa or something. It's just farmed. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's going to go well. This mango tree is. But I need to get them watered. Yeah, good. That there. He's going to get that. That's beautiful. I was worried, yeah, because I think Bond's got up. That's right, yeah. That's only done that because Bond got up there and cut some of the ging, the branches off. That's good. Yeah, so that's why it's coming up. He just, you know, and then Jesus Christ, we're into an hour now. That's it. Oh, look how deep red them are. Oh, look at that. That's a very, very deep red. This is mulberry. This guy, when we bought some of these mango trees, the one place we went to, an old guy, actually we went past, we always look out for because he's got a house on the front of the main road, and he's like a nursery, but like, you know what I mean, like a front garden. He grows all stuff in the front of his garden, barn in front of his house. And we noticed yesterday that I couldn't see it. Normally you'll notice it. I didn't see it. He'll have died now. Everyone just died. I would say everyone just dies, but the thing is, I don't know. Then it might wait because I just know more people. I know more people here than I do in England. So when people, you know, I don't know anybody in England to know they've died. That's what I'm saying, apart from in the workplace. And yeah. So let's taste this mulberry. Yeah, you know. It's like I wouldn't bother eating it again. You know, if you ever get mulberry, unless they're, let's say that's totally natural, right? And they were the reddest. They were at the top there. They were the reddest ones. I mean, there's loads on here. It's just a shame that people have got different tastes, I suppose. And then, honestly, I put these in here like Christmas trees. They were, but I hated them. But I put them there, and I put them probably too close to each other because I didn't think about it. Someone said to me, you're supposed to put, you have a decent amount of space because they'll grow towards the next side. I did not put them so close to each other. But what has happened now is they are like a wall. Yeah, this is probably about 3-4 years ago. You know, so there's that there. So we'll have to make a gate there. Might actually get, because no one's getting through there. And if anyone wants to come through there, you know, that's what we need to do, innit? We need to get on with that and just get it done. Because another thing as well is what's been pissing me off, right, is, let's see. Yeah, I was lucky. Yeah, I see them scratches there, look. They're not scratches, they've just got away with that. It is nice, isn't it? So her brother, he's pissed me off. He has a look, he comes round, he comes up with his D-Max, this is an older one, right? Comes up and he's like, he looked all right to start with. And he says he's a great worker, and I've had a lot of respect for the guy because he's technically good as well about stuff. But he turns up, but I think there's some jealousy there because obviously he's a nice bit of kit in it, you know what I mean? But even though it's second hand, it's only, you know, 12 grand vehicle. It's crazy, isn't it? 11.5 grand, I think it was. So what he does, he comes up, he says, let's have a look at it after being here for an hour talking. And he goes, let's have a look at it. So he comes down, I guess he's ready. He opens it up and then he decides then, he starts looking at it and he starts looking at the bolts that are holding down, the fasteners that are holding down the wings, right? Which is what they had pictures taken of them to show that it's perfect, that it hasn't been, they aren't, because what happens is people look for those bolts, the certain bolts that they say, well, we show those off because it means that, like, if those bolts are perfect, it means that no one's ever taken them off. Because they've got, no, they're perfect, right? There's no the paint's on them, the same paint colour as the actual wing, that kind of stuff. So they are original, right? But he looks at them and he starts looking at things and, yeah, this is not an accident. Nah, this is, don't worry about it. This is all in Thai, like. And you go, nah, don't worry about it, like, you know. But yeah, it has. This has had a come from. He's pissed at this point. He's started drinking like their white spirit, looking. But it's only 40%, but they fucking drink it in the daytime. It's crazy. And then drove off. You know what I mean? And then he goes, he starts going like, saying, yeah, if I had this up now, I could show you. But basically, to me, even it does look a bit weird that when you look at the actual chassis itself, which is silver, it's dirty, or rather not dirty like, because I know about, you got to look, sometimes you can have dirt cover, you can have engines that are completely dirty. And it's because they've had the bonnet open, they've been left out in the yard somewhere, and dust has gone on over everything, right? So this hasn't got that. This engine's nice and clean, right? But not so clean that it looks like it's been cleaned. But then when you look at this here, that there, it's like, you could say, is there a colour? Like, to me, they're the same colour, right? When you look inside, even though the bonnet's closed all the time, when you open it up, the inside of where this folds over and it's got holes in it to put bolts, where it's fastened down, they're all beautifully clean, and they're the same paint. They look like it's all original, right? But then you sort of look at those other parts, the chassis itself. That's like dirtier. You think, how could this here and the chassis be different colours? I think that's what he was looking at, going, oh look, these have been replaced. These have been replaced at a later date, or is it just that there's something inside here? Maybe it's that, that's what it is. Because I looked at it, thought, yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, that's just allayed my fears. That's answered the question. When you put this bonnet down, there will be insulation in this bonnet. So when this bonnet goes down, it lays on the little bit here, the profile that goes and sits, which is all beautifully clean inside, that you'd expect to be the same dirtiness as everything else. It's not dirty because this is actually sitting on it. So it's been prevented, the dust is prevented from getting onto that bit. That's the reason. Yeah, but so that was it. So I've just worked that out myself, and I'm not into cars, right? So he was weird because they're all macho here. They've got to know about everything. Whatever they say is, no. Right, so, even like that there, that's all right. And then I'll get my thing in there. There's no things that don't look right. Like, it's all perfect. He's going, it's an accident. Yeah, and then he starts going, nah, it's not worth $500,000 baht. It's all in Thai, like, quickly sort of saying it, like, because he's drunk as well. He just has to get it out, just pure jealousy. He's like, yeah, it's an accident, this has, and yeah. But he says, don't worry about it, he says. You know what I mean? But how even these manufacturers get everything to line up perfectly, to me, is absolutely amazing anyway. But yeah, like, the gap that's even in there for rain to go down there and then get funneled away and go somewhere, that's all the same, even for the headlights. If this had had an accident, they've done the most brilliant job ever. Well, mind you saying that, look, what's that there? What's the gap on like this? There's a bit more of a gap there, but as I say, imagine that. I'd be surprised how they can get all this to go together with exactly the same gaps all the way around. But